Coming up, the latest on tonight's flash flooding threat, and Kentucky COVID-19 cases approach 30,000.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. More heavy rain is falling across Kentucky tonight, and we have at least one flash flood warning already as the flooding threat continues overnight. Chief Meteorologist Paige Noel begins our coverage on this severe weather alert day. Paige?
Well, Steve, we got a little bit of a break right there near dinner time, but the rain's starting to pick back up and moving pretty slowly. So we are seeing some flooding threats across the mountains. We'll take you up to Pinpoint Doppler first, where it is mostly scattered. But like I said, they are moving very slowly, and for our counties up into that Big Sandy region right there along that boundary where that stationary front is kind of stalling out. So you do see that we do have a couple of actually flash flood warnings in effect, and that includes parts of Johnson County. Morgan County's in a lot of that, and you see those go until about 2 to 2:30 in the morning. And we're also seeing some pretty heavy rain moving into parts of Laurel County, and probably going to clip parts of Whitley and moving closer into parts of Knox County. And that's really just packing a punch too. Lots of lightning associated with that system. Could be waking a few of you up too if some people are already still in bed, so just be aware of that, as it looks like it's kind of gaining a little bit of strength as it moves into parts of Laurel, Whitley, and possibly into parts of Knox County. So we do have that flash flood watch in effect. Remember, that goes until Friday morning, so we are going to be watching the rain closely overnight tonight and into your Friday morning. I'll tell you what to expect for your Friday coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. California, Florida, Arizona, and Mississippi have all set records this week for the most coronavirus deaths in a single day. CBS's Danya Backus has more from Los Angeles.
For the third day in a row, Florida set a single-day record for coronavirus deaths. 253 people died, bringing Florida's total above 6,500.
We will continue to contend with the virus, but we will not be defined by it.
At the White House, President Trump stressed that the virus is back on the rise outside the U.S.
Despite a wide range of approaches to the pandemic between countries, this resurgence in cases is occurring throughout large portions of our planet.
Texas has become the latest state to surpass New York in total cases, joining other hot spots, Florida and California. In the U.S., more than 1,400 new deaths were reported on Wednesday. That's almost one death every minute.
It's going to be a first day of school unlike any we've seen.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz unveiled a plan to let school districts decide whether they will use in-person learning, distance learning, or a combination.
When people say open schools, that's not a plan, that's a slogan.
Local leaders in viral epicenters like here in Los Angeles are planning to delay in-person learning. Other large school districts, including Philadelphia, Kansas City, and Indianapolis, are considering similar changes. And the head of the World Health Organization warned about the dangers of spread by teenagers and young adults not taking precautions.
Young people are not invincible. Spikes of cases in some countries are being driven in part by younger people letting down their guard.
Friday morning, Dr. Anthony Fauci and CDC Chief Dr. Robert Redfield are set to testify about the pandemic before a House committee. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
In Florida, all COVID testing sites that are run by the state and federal government have been closed due to an approaching tropical storm. Governor Andy Beshear believes Kentucky's mask order is starting to pay off. He says our increase in cases is not going up as rapidly as it once was. The state still reported 659 new cases today. 29,386 cases have been reported since the start of the pandemic. We also learned about the deaths of 7 more Kentuckians, raising the death toll to 731, but our positivity rate has dropped a bit to 5.6%. Magoffin County has seen less than 20 cases of COVID-19 since this all began, but the county government has already taken a few hits. Judge Executive Matthew Wireman announced today that the county's courthouse will be closed to the public until next week. WYMT's Buddy Forbes tells us why.
Magoffin County's local government has already seen cases of COVID-19 travel through its buildings.
So we closed down the county garage and the recycle center because those guys work together a lot. And we just reopened that up this past Monday.
After 2 cases caused county buildings to close their doors last week, a new case was confirmed in the county's courthouse this week.
This lady was diligent in wearing her mask. She, I don't know the proper term or not, but she's a germaphobe. She worried about it.
A greeter at the courthouse tested positive and the building is now closed until Wednesday. According to Judge Executive Matt Wireman, the courthouse has worked to make sure all precautions are in place. But he says this shows that people are getting too relaxed.
I think now we've got a lot of complacency. We've got a lot of doubt. But I think these positive test results and people that we know and love are becoming sick, that this is our reality.
He says the divide in public opinion is causing more harm than people realize.
We're not sheep. You know, I like living a whole lot more than I like dying.
And taking care of each other during this time comes down to a small act.
But we just got to be inconvenienced for a little while wearing this mask. This will pass, but let's wear that mask.
With a big impact. In Magoffin County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Wireman says the greeter who tested positive is symptomatic and recovering at home. Appalachian Regional Healthcare officials are addressing some rumors posted today on Facebook. Those included that ARH does not have ventilators available, all ICU beds are full, and 80 employees are in quarantine. Well, officials with ARH say some of its ICUs are reaching capacity. However, officials say the 13 hospital system has a plan in place to expand coverage across the system and is not in jeopardy of having no access to ICU rooms. Officials do say 80 employees across the system may have been exposed to COVID-19 and a few have the disease.
The way they were exposed varies. The vast majority of them were outside of our hospital. So they were either related to family exposures or travel, other incidences like that. Currently, ARH as a system owns over 100 ventilators. We have 17 patients being vented today. I mean, we look at that daily.
Hospital officials urge everyone to ignore Facebook rumors and say they will continue to be transparent on their website and Facebook pages. As businesses see varying impacts from the coronavirus pandemic, one of the latest we are hearing about is the furniture industry. Kemper Furniture initially saw a slowdown in sales before curbside deliveries and contactless sales. The stores have since increased as they sell many pieces right off the floor. Vice President Thomas Kemper says they are now seeing a snowball effect.
Vietnam being shut down, China being shut down, and now with the stimulus packages that's went in as well, the factories are backed up and some things are taking 8 to 12 weeks to come in.
Kemper says they think the increase in sales comes as more people are spending more time in their homes, and he thinks the demand could increase if an additional stimulus check is sent to Americans. New at 11, Pineville police say one woman died in a wreck in Pineville last night. It happened on Highway 25 East. Investigators say Sharon Hubbard of Harlan hit a sign near the Dairy Queen before hitting the flood wall. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. Another fatal wreck was reported tonight, this one in Pulaski County. It happened around 10 o'clock last night. State troopers say 67-year-old George Cagle was riding his motorcycle on the old Cumberland Gap Parkway when he hit a road sign head on. He was flown to UK Hospital where he later died. Now an update on the case of a missing man out of Pike County. You may remember earlier this month we brought you the story of Wesley Hook, who disappeared shortly before his father's car was found burned. Police believe human remains found in the car were Wesley. 3 people, Crystal Williams, Enos Little, and Eric DeLeon, have been arrested in connection to his disappearance, and police are now looking for another person. 37-year-old Sky Smallwood, seen here, is wanted for tampering with evidence and abuse of a corpse. Police believe she could be in Lexington or Richmond. If you know where she is, you should contact police. A Rockcastle County man faces a list of charges after a police chase spanning 4 counties. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says Nicholas Denny was going more than 100 miles an hour during the chase. It stretched through Rockcastle, Madison, and Jackson counties before ending in Laurel County. Deputies say Denny tried to use heroin at the start of the chase. He's charged with driving under the influence, fleeing, and drug possession. A woman who got out of the car at the start of the chase was also charged with public intoxication. Yesterday afternoon, an apparent road rage incident left 1 dead in Laurel County. Deputies from the Sheriff's Office say 1 vehicle cut off another on US 25E. They pulled off onto US 25 onto Haynes-Baker Road, and deputies say words were exchanged and a confrontation began between the 2 drivers. They were both armed. Moments later, shots were fired from the driver of the pickup truck, hitting Jack Davis. Davis later died at the hospital.
We have road rage complaints almost every single day on I-75, especially on side roads if there's road construction. Just a lot of different things cause the road rage incidents to occur. They're frequent, but this is never the outcome, and it's not, and it shouldn't be the outcome.
This investigation will be presented before a Laurel County grand jury. The Big Sandy Area Community Action Agency is helping people in 5 counties pay past due bills. Those bills can be your water, sewage, or garbage. They received $1 million from the CARES Act and plan to spend 1/3 of that on this new assistance program. Employees tell us if someone makes at or below 200% of the federal poverty level, you could be eligible for assistance up to $200.
What we do is try to fill those gaps in people's lives. So, you may come up short because you had to buy medicine or you needed to buy food or something like that. Raising that limit to 200% ensures that we are going to be able to reach, people who fall into that working poor category.
Households in Floyd, Johnson, Martin, Magoffin, and Pike counties are eligible for the program. We have a contact number for more information on our website. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, the pandemic alters UK's football season, how fans are reacting to the SEC schedule switch.
And we'll continue to see more rain throughout the overnight hours and even heading into the weekend. I'll have a look at your forecast next.